Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you know by now, my channel is all about finding ways to improve my health condition so that I can overcome my autoimmune condition, multiple sclerosis. And that's through various different ways of, nutrition, lifestyle changes. And my latest thing that I'm really on, if you watch my most recent video, is that I got a methylation DNA testing done. It's the kind that Gary Brecka talks about in a lot of his videos online. And I was really interested to get the data back because I wanted to understand what's actually going on in my genetics that could be causing issues with methylation, and that could end up leading to the autoimmunity that I'm suffering with. So I took the test and I've basically recently delved into it a lot further, and I found a tool to really help to really amplify my results and be able to understand it a lot better and to get an actual plan together for how I can combat all the issues in my DNA. So that's massive for obviously if you suffer with something like MS, which is partially genetic in that you've got a genetic susceptibility to the disease. So I wanted to fix those breaks as quick as I possibly can. This has really been a game changer, so I really want to share the results with you. So let's dive into the video. If you like it and if you find any value, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, because the more people that do, the more people I can reach and help with MS and help everyone to grow and get much healthier in the long run. Yeah, so I won't go into all the details because if you want to find it out, you can watch my previous video. But basically, I got a genetic test done that looks at all your methylation cycles. So methylation is essentially how your body breaks down and converts vitamins and minerals into their usable form. And so there's a guy who is really well known in the health space called Gary Brecka, and he talks about it a lot and says that it's massive because he sees illness and autoimmunity as well as simply the body not getting enough of the natural resources that it needs because it can't methylate certain vitamins, and so your body is basically just not getting and not being able to use a lot of those vitamins. And so that's exactly why I wanted to get this test done, and I got the results back. The company that I use are called Stride. The dashboard is really good, it's really clear, you can see everything on there, but I really wanted to just dive into it a bit further. And so I just thought that, how can I get more out of this? And then I hit a brainwave where I thought, what about ChatGPT? Is there a way that I can utilize that? And so what I ended up doing was I downloaded the PDF of my results from Stride, and then I just uploaded that into ChatGPT and said, hi ChatGPT, I've just got a DNA methylation test done because I currently suffer from MS, and so I wanted to improve my health essentially. Can you please analyze it and tell me how I can overcome it going forward? And I was pretty blown away by what it came back with, because it quite literally came back as though it was a complete expert doctor that was analysing it, that, you'd probably pay hundreds or maybe thousands in consultancy fees to actually see the right person to explain these results to you in this way. And so this is a real hack that I think that if you've got a methylation test done or are looking to get one done soon, then you can utilize this to really maximize the results. So yeah, I'm just going to share some of what ChatGPT actually told me about because it's really interesting. But I essentially asked it, can you tell me more about the folate cycle? Because I could tell that from my results from Stride that that's where I was lacking, and that's the big one that Gary Brecka mentions a lot in a lot of his videos and says that it's super important. So yeah, it just came back and told me all of this really. So told me that my folate cycle was impaired deficiency, which I knew from the dashboard anyway, but it just explained it a bit more. So it said, this means your body's ability to convert dietary folate from its active form is reduced. Into its active form is reduced. This has implications for methylation, neurotransmitter production, DNA synthesis, and detoxification, which are all super important in an autoimmune condition like MS. So this really just got my attention straight away. And so then it literally looks at the specific genes and it shows exactly what's going on. So the main one, the MTFHR gene, I've got a 40% reduction in enzyme activity. So that's quite big really. And I've also got a mild impact on this section of that gene, reduced activity, lower function, normal on this one, thank God. But as you can see, pretty much all of them are reduced or lower function. And so, yeah, it really kind of made me realize that I've got to do something about this and look into how to overcome it. So then it went into the potential risks associated with these results. So it said that elevated homocysteine, which increases risk of cardiovascular disease, neurodegeneration, and infertility. So that's definitely not a good thing. I definitely want to get that fixed. Lower 5-MTHF levels. So this is less methylation, so support for DNA repair, detox neurotransmitter, which what I mentioned before. And then there's other stuff as well. So really interesting, and just gave me a really brief kind of overview, which just put it in plain English for me. And then the great thing about it was that it actually came back with recommendations, so from a diet and a supplement perspective, which just makes it so easy. And it means that you can get a test like this done, upload it into ChatGPT, and just get way more understanding about it, because you can ask it all sorts of specific questions as well, which I did. I kind of went down a rabbit hole of asking it a load of different things, but I'm just going to share with you the main things for now. But it suggested to me to eat more naturally folate-rich foods, so dark leafy greens, legumes, asparagus, citrus fruits, and avocados, and then reduce reliance on folic acid. So that's the synthetic form, because you might see on a lot of packaging saying it's fortified with folic acid. But if you've got this genetic mutation that I've got, your body can't break that down, it can't use it. And so you're basically just clogging your body up with stuff that it can't work on. And so you really shouldn't be taking or eating foods that have got that on the label at all. So then we get to the supplements. This was the bit that I was most interested in, because I knew that I was already doing a lot of the diet stuff. So I really wanted to find what supplements I needed to be able to replace the nutrients and vitamins that my body wasn't getting, so that I could just, overcome this issue and hopefully take my health to the next level. So it suggested that I use methylated B vitamins, so especially 5-MTHF instead of folic acid. So that's a methylated version of folic acid. Then it said methylcobalamin, which is vitamin B12, and then it's also saying B2, B3, and B6 as well. So really interesting, but it just cemented it. I thought from my results that I got back anyway that I needed this, because it's something that I've looked into and I have been doing, but probably not on a regular enough basis. And then it also suggests that, you should get more testing done. So it says that following on from my results, I should be checking my homocysteine levels, because that kind of affects a lot of different things, and it can confirm functional impairment as well. And then you should also be testing for kind of vitamin B12 levels, folate levels, all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, it came up with a bit of a warning sign for me, which seemed a bit scary. But it said that I've got a compound heterozygous MTHFR genotype, which can significantly lower enzyme activity. This warrants lifelong support through diet and smart supplementation. So this kind of just hit home, because I've got the results back and I've got the dashboard, and it does tell you all this, but this just felt like a bit more of a more human-like manner, because I specifically asked ChatGPT to talk to me as if it were, an expert in this field, and it was giving me the advice that I needed. And so this is just such a great hack for if you have got a test like this done, like I say, or if you're looking to get one done in the future. And then after that, I actually asked it, because I'm well into Gary Brecka, and it's kind of his thinking that's got me into looking into all this stuff. I actually asked it, can you interpret my folate cycle results in a way that Gary Brecka would interpret those results, and then suggest what I would do following on from his advice. It was just like, essentially, it was kind of like getting a consultation with Gary Brecka, but instead it's ChatGPT and it's absolutely free. So it came back with basically saying that Gary would flag this as a major bottleneck in methylation. So that's my MTHFR gene, which is the main one that he talks about, and he calls it the mother gene. I'm not going to swear in this video in case it gets taken down off YouTube, but yeah, so he said that it's exactly backing up what was said before, but I'm only producing 30 to 40% of the normal amount of active methylfolate. So this leads to elevated homocysteine, poor detox, poor neurotransmitter function, all those kind of things. And then it says what Gary Brecka would recommend. So it's saying a lot of the same things as before, but it's just laying it out to me in a more kind of easily digestible way. So again, it would say stop all folic acid, start methylated folate, pair with methylated B12, and then it goes on and tells me all about a lot of other things as well, and tells me a lot of other foods that I should be increasing. So it says that I should be increasing choline-rich foods like eggs, liver, salmon, cruciferous vegetables, monitor homocysteine levels again. So I just found this all super interesting. And I definitely think that, if you're in a similar position to me, you've got MS or you've got another autoimmune condition, then it's really well worth getting a test like this done so that you can understand what's going on in your body's methylation cycles, and then fix any breaks in the system. And so going forward, I'm definitely going to be, supplementing a bit better. So getting these methylated B vitamins, because the difference between methylated and unmethylated is basically that the methylated are already in the usable form for your body. So for example, if my body can't break down B12 properly, this has already given me the broken down B12 so that my body can utilize that B12 and gets the requirements that it needs. So there's a really good chance that this is going to really help me and help improve my health much further. And so if you're in a similar situation, then I definitely recommend that you do. And if you do want to use the same company that I use, they're called Stride. I've got a link in my bio. I really like the test results that I got back. And so I messaged them and said, look, is there an affiliate link that I can share with my YouTube subscribers? So if you click through the link, you'll get an extra 10% off. They also do the vitamins that you'll need as well. So it's a really great company, and you should definitely look into it if you're looking to get something like this done. I've then even asked ChatGPT, why does this affect my sleep? Because one thing that I've always said is that I struggle to fall asleep quickly at night. It always takes me at least half an hour, maybe even more a lot of the time to fall asleep at night. And Gary Brecka always says that that's a clear issue, that you've got a problem in your methylation. So I wanted ChatGPT to analyze my actual results as to why that might be. And so what it came back with, saying that your body methylates to make neurotransmitters like serotonin and melatonin. If your methylation pathways are broken, your brain doesn't get the signals to say it's time to sleep. And so it said that with me, because I have that MTHFR gene mutation, that's then leading to lower methylfolate, which is called lower SAMe, which is lower serotonin and melatonin synthesis. It said as well, Gary would say, if you can't methylate folate, you can't methylate serotonin. So no serotonin equals no sleep. So that was really interesting to me, because that's like a clear DNA result that shows why I do struggle to sleep. Because a lot of the time you just go through life thinking it's just something that just happens to you. Maybe you know it's all in your own head, but this is actually seeing it in my genetics, in my methylation. So it was also saying that because of my low B12 recycling, this reduced the ability to recycle homocysteine to support SAMe synthesis, which is needed to make melatonin from serotonin. So there's all different things here, and CompT as well, I've got reduced activity of that. So basically, I mean, from my methylation results, I'm pretty damn broken. So I need to, it makes the emphasis even more than ever to make sure that I'm getting all the right vitamins in so that I can fix all these issues. Because if as a result of this as well, like it can help fix a lot of other problems that I have, like falling asleep at night, then it can only be a bonus, can't it? So it said here, like, resulting sleep pattern that it suggests that I would have would be a hard time shutting off your brain at night. That's exactly me. Like I lie down and my brain just wakes up and I start thinking about the most random things that don't mean anything at all. Because of a delayed melatonin spike, may fall asleep later than normal, may wake up groggy or with low energy in the mornings, which is definitely me as well. So I always struggle to fall asleep at night, and then I wake up feeling like I've not slept very much, even though I could have had 8 or 9 hours sleep. So this is just super interesting. And then it again kind of backed that up with all the same kind of supplements. It added in this time that I should be taking magnesium glycinate or threonate as well, because that calms the nervous system. So all really interesting stuff that I think is going to really help me going forward. So yeah, really interesting analysis there. And it's something that I'm really optimistic about, that now that I know exactly what's going wrong in my methylation cycles, that I can course correct essentially and take those methylated vitamins that my body can't make itself. And hopefully that's going to lead to changes in stress, which obviously has a negative impact on your whole body as well. And hopefully it's going to help with every aspect of my autoimmune condition, which I believe is down to having leaky gut in the first place. And then there's various different factors that cause my body to break down the myelin sheath, which is what causes MS. But touch wood, I haven't had a relapse now in a good few years because of all these changes that I've implemented. And so I think that there's hope for anyone else watching this video that feels a bit lost at the minute. There are things that you can do, and that's exactly what I want to preach on this channel. So please do feel free to check out my other videos where I talk about my diet, the other things that I'm doing to stay relapse free. And just remember that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. So I hope you all stay healthy. In my next video, I'm actually going to be talking about, because I actually recently got a blood test done with Stride, which is just going to take it to the next level, because I wanted to find out what's actually going on in my blood, having now analysed my DNA. So I'm going to get into that in the next video. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hang around to check out the next one, because it's going to be a good one.